Howdy, Earthlings! Today we're going to be reading the 125 Rules for the Modern Gentleman. We thought chivalry was dead, but good thing we have these 4 writers helping people decide what chivalry is in the modern age, I guess. I haven't qualified as a gentleman for quite a while now. I'm also not very modern. I'm 34. I'm old enough to be considered vintage. Retro, even. So, let's take a look at some of these rules. I feel like these are going to be... I'm expecting it to be condescending. I'm expecting it to be a little old-fashioned in some regards, I'm guessing. I don't think it's going to be that modern. I didn't know anything about this going in, but I heard about it, and I intentionally avoided watching videos on it because I didn't want my opinion messed with. But, you know, y'all know I'm non-binary. I don't consider myself subscribed to any particular gender's laws, but I do know that I'm not here to rip on men. Men have it hard in their own ways. Women have it hard in their own ways. Non-binary people have it hard in their own ways, too. And society has a bunch of instructions and rules and stuff like that for all of the genders, and men are under a lot of pressure too. They're expected to be up to a certain standard that is just not possible to meet anymore. Same with women. So I'm not here to rip on any particular gender. I just wanted to see how goofy some of these rules are. Okay, we got our experts here, 4 whole experts. All right, we'll assume you've got the basics of being a self-aware human down. Oh, condescending immediately. Wow, I've never been proven right so quickly. But these moves will show you you're uniquely attuned to what other people want, need, and appreciate the most. Number 1, take out your AirPods when you're talking to someone. Muting doesn't count. I think that rule is fair. I think taking your, well, specifying AirPods is kind of silly. You could just say earbuds in general, assuming we have a lot more money than we do right now. Gen Z is not doing so hot in the money department, so I'll be surprised if most of them have AirPods. Millennials aren't doing great in the money department either, so I wonder who's buying all these AirPods. Maybe they just came with your phones. I don't think it's ridiculous to ask people to take their AirPods out when you're talking to someone. I think that it shows that you're listening, but also I think this can kind of be negative to people who are neurodivergent and have focusing issues, and you might not think it, but having some music and stuff like that provides them a little bit more focus, and I think in that regard it might be a little, you know, there's some very mild out of touch ableism, but I don't think it's a huge request to ask that you take your AirPods out. At least take one AirPod out so that people know you're listening. It's an indicator that you're listening. 2, ask before vaping indoors. No matter how sly you think you are, other people do notice. Yeah, you probably shouldn't vape indoors. Smoking isn't allowed indoors. Vaping shouldn't be allowed indoors. Vapes have nicotine in them too. I think they should be classified the same as cigarettes. Honestly, we're gonna find out when you're vaping because we're gonna smell that you smell like Captain Crunch and blueberries. Yeah, you're not sly. It does reek. But honestly, I don't think anyone should be vaping. Popcorn lung is, you know, honestly, it's more immediately deadly probably than the cancer you would get long-term from smoking. I'm not saying you should go smoke. I'm just saying maybe you shouldn't vape either. I think use vaping to help you quit, but you eventually get to that point that you're not using either. I don't think any industry should be, you know, constantly making money off of you like that. If you're in a situation where people wouldn't smoke or vape, don't pop a Zyn either, and go to the bathroom to remove your Zyn. Okay, so I think it's okay for you to like put a Zyn in. Like, that part's fine. You're not doing anything gross by doing that. It's no different than eating in front of someone, in my opinion. You're just putting a little pouch in your lip. Personally, I don't think anyone should be doing Zyn either. I think if we're gonna take over when all the old people ruin this planet for us, we need to be in a good, healthy condition to rule after them, to fix all the crap that they put us through. So, comrades, don't do Zyn, don't smoke, don't vape, don't do any of that crap. And I like that they're naming brands here instead of just saying stuff like chew or pouches or anything like that. It's so, hello my fellow kids. Don't pop your Zyn out of your mouth in public. That's gross. To me, that's the same as spitting your chew into a cup in front of people. I think that's gross. I think that's an okay rule too. Everyone loves receiving flowers, but most bouquets are cloying and chaotic. If you have a favorite flower, send a small number of stems. If not, you can't go wrong with a few calla lilies. Who's giving flowers? Are people giving flowers still? I've never been given flowers. I would totally accept flowers, any kind of flowers. I feel that bouquets are a gift, and to say one is cloying or chaotic is rude. It's mean. It's turning down a gift. You just say thank you and oh my gosh, these are nice, because it's a nice thing to do for the person who just did the nice thing of giving you flowers. This is incredibly pretentious and again, out of date. I don't think people are giving flowers that much, and if so, it's upper class people. So this gentleman stuff, what I'm reading it as is upper class people. Always sneeze as if you're at a library or a funeral, and in the crook of your arm as if you're dabbing. I call that the vampire sneeze because you look like you're drawing a cloak in front of your face when you do it. And yes, I think that's a good rule to expect. That's basic rules that everyone should be following. If you sneeze into the crook of your arm. More sanitary. COVID and everything and stuff like that. It's a modern rule rule that everyone should be following. You should be sneezing into the crook of your arm. It prevents the spread of disease. And the always sneeze as if you're in a library or at a funeral, sneeze quietly. Yeah, if your sneeze is extravagant and you can control your sneeze, sneeze quietly if you can. I live with someone who sneezes and it sounds like thunder striking inside the room that I'm in, followed by a creeper explosion. He does not sneeze quietly, but he says he can't control it, so I don't give him crap for it. Find a signature gift you can give to almost anyone for almost any occasion and stock up. A specific candle, a specific champagne, a specific short book. That's such an old people thing to do, though. I don't think this rule's a good one. It's such an old person thing to do to have a signature gift. Like, I don't want to be known as the person who gives that same crappy Yankee candle every time, but it does make sense. It's good to have backup gifts because you never know when you're going to be surprised, and people will think you're super thoughtful for doing it too. Everyone loves candles. That's a pretty good, safe one to get. A short book that you particularly like. That's also a great one. Give out copies of the Communist Manifesto. You'll be the talk of the town. People will not forget you. But yeah, I think that's not a terrible idea, but it is also an incredibly old-fashioned idea. I think that's very out of date. 7. Feeling stuck. A bottle of good olive oil is the move. What? I need a translator for this one. What? A bottle of good olive oil is the move. Oh, is this like alternative lubricant suggestion? Or am I just thinking dirty? Because olive oil can be used as an alternative lubricant and it's safer than alternatives. But I also don't know how that would, I don't know how the hooch would respond to olive oil. I don't know about that because people who have hooches have got a whole like chemistry situation going on down there. They got a whole science lab down there. I don't know how any of that junk works. So I don't know if that mixes with your chemistry or whatever, but I can only think of this as being an alternative to lube. What the hell is this rule? 8. When someone you know has a baby, arrange to send them dinner one night during the first month. That's very polite, not entirely necessary. In my opinion, if someone is having a baby nowadays, like people are very against having children right now. If someone is having a child, they are fully aware of the costs and the expenses of having a baby, and they already probably get WIC. If you have a baby, apply for WIC. Even if you think you make too much money, apply for WIC if you can. It's, it helps you pay for formula and stuff and baby food. It's a good idea to get. Helps save some of the cost. But I can see why this is a good idea. It's a polite thing to do. It's a cool dude thing to do, to just offer to buy someone one dinner for the first night of the first month of the birth. But it's also like so rooted in the nuclear family thing. Like, I get it. The mom's not going to be able to raise the baby, or the mom's going to be like having a hard time from giving birth postpartum and stuff like that. If they have it, they're not going to want to do the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that. So yeah, giving her a night off is a good, nice thing to do. But also, I feel like monetarily, they probably don't need it if they're in the position that they're willing to have a baby intentionally. Accidentally, that's a different situation. It feels very nuclear family focused. Like, no one is the housewife anymore. Everyone's working. Husband, wife, both working. If not, husband's got 2 jobs. So I feel like this is very nuclear family focused, and again, out of date. Number 9, ditto. If someone is ill or in the hospital. Yeah, it's a nice thing to do, but I don't think you're obligated to do that. I think if you're going to be following these rules, it's expensive, and no one's going to be able to afford this. Like I said, Gen Z is struggling. Millennials have been struggling. The only time that millennials aren't struggling is when a family member died and left them a house behind. I don't think anyone can afford to be a gentleman by these rules. It's unrealistic. This is for the rich. 10, a handwritten thank you letter is still correct. Yeah, that's a nice thing to do. It's free. Just leave a nice handwritten thank you letter. That's the least you can do, I think. If someone does you a huge favor and you can't pay them back in any way, it is very thoughtful to leave a thank you letter. I think that's nice. 11, if you encounter something you like that someone you know helped bring into fruition, always write them to say congratulations or how much you enjoyed it. I think one thank you letter is enough. I don't think you need to keep thanking a person for the rest of your life. Hey, I got you this nice pen. Oh yeah, let me show you how much I appreciate you by writing you a letter every day to thank you for the pen that you got. I think they would be annoyed after a little while. I think after a while it would be sarcastic. I think after a while of receiving that many letters, I think I would go, okay, they hated it and this is a punishment. They're trying to teach me to not ever gift them something like this again. And I would not get them something cool again because I would not want to receive the letters again. I would just not get that person anything again because I don't want to be annoyed by that many letters. Just one thank you letter, please. Or just, hey, a sincere thank you to my face. That'd be cool too. I'd be fine with that. 12, greet people you know with a single kiss on the left cheek. Do not do that. Do not do that. That is sexual harassment. That is not a rule you should follow. This is a terrible rule. This is going to get people put in so many horrible situations. situations. Do not be the dude who kisses people. Do not kiss greet people. Also, you're telling people to sneeze and cough into the crook of their arm, and then you have them kissing people on the cheek. Like, if I sneeze into the crook of my arm, there's a decent chance that some of that bacteria gets on my face. So if everyone's following these rules, you're getting people sick. But also, this is sexual harassment. Do not kiss people, even if you know them. Don't kiss them on the cheek unless you're dating them or like they're a parent or something. Just whoa. Like, even if it is someone you know, like it says someone you know. Even if I know someone and I'm comfortable with them, I'm not going to kiss greet them. Stand up or sit up straight when you're talking to someone. It communicates respect. These aren't modern rules. These are old rules. These are old rules. These were rules when I was a kid too. Stand up or sit up straight when you're talking to someone. It communicates respect, and good posture is better for your back too. You don't need to communicate that it has personal benefits like that. It should just be a sign of respect, like sit up straight when you're talking to someone. Show that you're taking them seriously. It's called a listening posture, or at least that's what I would refer to it as. Like, take your one earbud out, look them in the eye. You know, I can understand why you can't look someone in the eye if you got ADHD or autism, or you got some kind of social anxiety or something like that. I totally understand that. But like, at least show that you're listening by, you know, being receptive and being in a position that looks like you're listening. So yeah, sit up straight. I was raised in the South where please and thank you were not optional. Old people shit. Old people shit. Look at this. All of these old people. These aren't modern. This is old people shouting at clouds. This is the thing I hear old gray-haired people complaining about in the checkout line while I'm ringing them up. This is not modern. Should have been a dead giveaway when there wasn't a single young person on the written by team. You should say please and thank you, but this is not a new rule. This is not new. This is something that's been in existence in forever. Like, yeah, you should work on your please and thank yous. It's kind of a bare minimum politeness thing. Don't under any circumstances listen to music, podcasts, TikTok videos, or take phone calls in public without using headphones. I agree. That's also an old rule though. I totally agree with this. It is annoying. I don't want to hear the shit you're listening to. If I wanted to listen to something, I would be having it out and listening to it myself. I've got my own headphones. I've got my own wireless earbuds too. I've got my own phone. I don't want to listen to your TikToks in public. I just don't. It's like, I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to hear my own thing. Some of us have ADHD and stuff like that, and sounds can distract us, or they can help us focus depending on the situation. But sounds can distract. Like, I'm gonna have a hard time retaining information if someone's blasting, you know, something funny or like noises on their like phones and stuff like that. Yeah, just don't make other people listen to your junk. I honestly find it annoying when people blast music in their cars too loud and you can hear it thumping through their car. It's annoying for everybody. Everybody finds it annoying when you do this. They just don't say anything because they're too polite to say anything. The same principle applies for smell. We should not be able to smell you unless we are embracing you. That's true. Too much perfume? Gross. Smelling bad? Also gross. Like, some people go out, and this is an old people problem personally. Every person I've ever met that wears way too much perfume or cologne is some old person, because they have to they think that they have to be able to smell it for it to be working, so they put way too much on, and then I'm behind them in line trying not to, you know, choke and vomit because they're like setting off my gag reflex with their thick, disgusting perfumes that smell like aging attic. Hold the door when it makes sense. This is no longer gender specific, it's simply the right thing to do. Agreed. Hold the door when you can. It's polite for everybody to do it. If someone was directly in front of you and they just went in and didn't hold the door open for you for a little bit, you'd probably be annoyed because you have to, like, it slams shut in front of you and you have to grab it. I think it's a mutual respect thing. I think everybody can do that. Call it old school, call it charming, but if we're walking together, the gentleman should take the street side. I'll be on the inside by the buildings. It's a quiet sign from you that says, I got you. What? What? Ava, did you smoke a bowl before you wrote this one? This doesn't make any sense. Like, it's like a black and white movie. Are you worried that someone's gonna rush through a puddle and it's gonna splash you? You need the man there to just take a shot for you? You got people coming for you, gunning for you? You need someone between you and the road so that they don't hit you on the, like, as they're going? Like, what kind of enemies do you got, Ava? Stop walking 3 feet ahead of your partner, instead match their stride. Yeah, this is kind of annoying. It's like that one NPC that is walking too fast for your walking pace, but is too slow for your sprinting pace. It's just really annoying. Never raise your voice at someone unless there's an emergency. True, do not raise your voice at people. It's just, nobody likes being yelled at. Oh, that's a delightful little image. On a date and in the bedroom. The laws of attraction, both old and new. Be unambiguous when asking someone out. Yes, there are too many oblivious lesbians out there that are constantly asking things like, hey, this person did this for me. Are they actually interested in me, or are they just being nice? You've got people who are always going to think you're being polite, and then you've got people who take your politeness and ambiguousness and treat it as you flirting with them. You know, the guy who insists that the waitress who's paid to be nice is hitting on him. You need to be blunt and stuff about it so that people expect bluntness from other people. If you're asking someone out, ask them out. Say, hey, you want to go on a date? Let's go on a date. Suggest dinner, not drinks or coffee. Drinks, yeah, going for drinks and coffee is, you know, it's a friend thing to do. Imply that you'll pay. Yeah, I mean, if you're asking the person out on the date, you should pay. I would expect in a straight heteronormative scenario, I would say that if the woman asks the man out, she should pay. If the man asks the woman out, he should pay. I just think that's how it should work. Whoever asks the other out should do it because you're offering a gift to them. 22, if you're planning a date and someone is asking for suggestions on where to go, don't just say I'm fine with whatever. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad someone said it. I'm so glad someone said this. Please, if people say, let's go somewhere for dinner, and they ask you, where do you want to go? Pick something. Anything. Because the person that is asking that has no clue where they want to go either. They're asking you, and one, to show kindness and willingness to do things for you. And this is one of those small social gifts for you. They're saying, hey, I don't know where to go. Or they're saying, hey, I want you to choose because this is for you and me. So don't say I'm just fine with whatever. Pick a place. Just anything. 23. It's uncouth to show your friends someone else's dating profile. True, that shit is private. That is private. That is between you and the person viewing it. If they want to see it, they should sign up and get to swiping. If you're online dating, keep the in-app chat to a minimum. Once a rhythm is established, a few timely, flirty responses, get their phone number and ask them out unambiguously. This depends. I think if you are serious about dating the person, you should eventually move it off of the app. But at the same time, I think you should keep the discussions on app until you're comfortable to get off of app with them. Because if something were to happen, these dating sites have a, receipt of what's going on. So I think it's important that, for your safety, for everyone's safety, that you keep it in the app until you're both comfortable with each other to trust each other to, keep it in person only or text. I think once to the point that you exchange numbers, I think that's the point that you should switch over to, using your phones. Always offer to pay on the first date. In fact, go out of your way to pay on the first date, but don't expect anything in return. That's true. It's a gift. Again, the first dates are gifts. You can even go back and forth. This doesn't have to be a one-sided thing. Dude pays for the first date, chick pays for the second date. Everyone's working now, so, why can't both of you contribute? 26. The words body count should never leave your mouth. Honestly, for fucking real. That is, body count and stuff like that. It's all rooted in this, heteronormative and slut-shaming society shit, and nobody likes hearing that. The only people that like hearing that is, I guess, your bros, talking amongst bros. You really shouldn't. It's kind of creepy and gross to be asking someone how many people they've slept with, especially if it's early on and you haven't been dating them for very long. I feel like that's something that a person should divulge once y'all get comfortable enough. I think it's important to disclose it. I think you should know each other's amount of sexual partners. I think it's important for health reasons and safety reasons. But again, the body count doesn't matter if you both have, clean bills of health. If you can both prove that neither of you have, sexually transmitted infections, I don't think either of you should have to divulge your body count at all. So I don't know, just keep a clean bill of health on you. But yeah, it's kind of gross to ask, to say the word body count. Honestly, it's kind of cringe. The date isn't over until you know I'm home safely. Yes, both parties. Honestly, people are crazy, and it is very hard to be a woman, especially a woman who is traveling alone. If she's really insistent that you don't take her home directly, see if you're allowed to call her to know that she got home safely. If she doesn't want you to follow her home, she might not trust you yet, but you should still ask her for her number or ask her to message you on the app to let you know that she got home safe, because women have a lot of shit they have to deal with. Growing up, I had female friends and I was around them a lot, and I was not treated as a threat by dudes because I was, they could sense the fruitiness coming off of me, I guess. And so I saw a lot of inappropriate behavior coming from grown-ass men to underage girls. So imagine that behavior is still probably, a thing, and it's still happening to adult women. And it's just, the world is dangerous. and it's never going to really stop being dangerous. So you should, walk her home if she lets you, drive her home if she lets you. If she doesn't, get her to text you when she's good. It's polite, it's safe. People are crazy. Like I said, people are crazy. Like, it's that simple. People are crazy. Clean your sheets every week. Better yet, purchase a few pairs and cycle through them. Your sheets should not be black or navy or made with polyester. They should be cotton or linen only. Oh my gosh. I think I get the point here. Yes, your bed sheets should be clean, and by having them being a lighter color, people can look at the sheet and verify that they're clean. And I think that would do wonders to your sex life. Probably it would make the other partner feel better. Like, if I went over to someone's house and I saw that they had white sheets and they were perfectly clean, I'd be like, okay, this is a person who takes care of themselves. And yeah, I would feel better about it. Black sheets though, I don't really care. They're stylish. I think there's still many kinds of stains that could show up on black or navy. But yeah, I can see the point here. It's a stupid rule though. If their last name in your phone is still Hinge, it's way too early to exchange nudes. Hinge, is that a dating site or something? Yes, it is. Okay, I've never heard of it. Do people use Hinge? I don't know. I've been married for a while. I don't use a dating app because when you got riz like mine, every site's a dating app. That's creepy. I'll never say that again. That's such a weird specific rule though. Hinge in your phone. Like, I guess, like, yeah, you're probably like putting their name and then you're putting in parentheses from Hinge. I get that, and yeah, it's probably still too early to exchange nudes, but I mean, if they're down for it, you're down for it. You're both consenting adults. That's the important part, is you both consenting, so I don't see an issue. I have received lots of unsolicited nudes. People think that when you're non-binary or trans that the doors just open to that kind of thing. It's not. It's not okay. It's not okay to send anyone your pictures of your dick, so please stop, because I will 100% of the time respond, oh, is it supposed to look like that? Just to mess with you. Don't be weird about condoms. Yeah, straight up. Buy them, have them on hand, wear them. That's what they're saying here. It's true. You should have condoms on you. You should not be weird about them. If they request that you use condoms, use condoms. It's really that simple. Like, birth control isn't free. It costs money, or you need insurance for it. It messes with your hormone levels. Like, it causes, fluctuations in your hormones. It, affects your body. Some people don't want to take them. Some people can't take them. So you really shouldn't put the entire expectations on them. Ask them if they want to do it with condoms or if they've got birth control. And if they say, I would prefer if you wore condoms, wear the condom. Accept that sex is a skill that you can improve at. Yeah. But also, not all relationships are built on sex. So if both partners are fine with the sex life not being that great, and you're both comfortable with that, and you both know that that is a limitation that you're both experiencing, there's nothing wrong with moving on with it and not expecting, a big sexual development. Not all relationships are built on sex. Lots of people don't want to have sex. But yes, everything is a skill, essentially. You can always get better at everything, and sex is one of the things that you can get better at. And the best way to do that is asking them how you can improve. Good place to start is the foreplay. Everyone says foreplay is always too short. Asking, is this okay, is sexy. In my opinion, before I'm having sex with someone, I will have discussed what I'm okay with and what we're doing and what they're okay with. I think maybe a safe word is just better. I don't particularly think them asking every 5 seconds, is this cool? Is this cool? Are you okay with this? How are you feeling? I don't think that's particularly attractive or sexy one way or the other. I think you should discuss what's okay to do in advance before you have the sex. And then if you get experimental, you get a little weird, you get a little freaky in there, red light, green light, yellow light. 33. The age gap rule for adults used to be that men shouldn't date below half your age plus 7. We like half your age plus 10. Hey, nothing's inflation proof. So half your age plus 10. The old rule was half your age plus 7. I'm 34, so half of my age would be 17, I think. Oh, I swear. 17 plus 7, 24. Yeah, my wife falls into that range, but also she falls into the range of half plus 10. I don't know. It still feels weird. A 100-year-old dating a 60-year-old, that still feels like a massive age gap. Y'all are like 20 depressions apart. Like, what do you talk about? What do you have in common there? I remember the Second World War. So I don't think that's a terrible rule. I think half your age plus 10 is not a bad rule. But there's also there's some interesting math with that. Like, if you're 18, you would only be dating people older than you at that point until you're like 21. You would be dating nothing but people that are older than you at that point, which is kind of funny. 34. The what exactly are we doing here conversation should happen around the 5th date. I think maybe it should happen sooner. I think after you've had sex and then maybe one additional date after that, maybe then you should start talking to each other like, hey, is this serious? I think that conversation should probably happen sooner. 35, never kiss and tell. Duh. Yes, please do not tell of your sexual exploits that me and you did in private to your friends, or, you know, whoever you did it with in general. I'm just saying. I would not appreciate it, personally, if it happened to me, if I did something with someone and they went and started telling everybody about it, unless they asked me for permission to share it first. The gym, because getting your form isn't the only thing you have to worry about. Nudity in the locker room is fine, but being egregious about it, like striking up an entire conversation with your hands on your hips, is outmoded. It's a little uncomfortable. Yeah, I can see that. Never use your phone in the gym locker room. Yes, I think that's a good rule that I didn't consider. Yeah, your phone shouldn't be out when you're in the locker room. I think anyone would be a little uncomfortable with that. That goes outside the locker room too. Don't film anyone at the gym. Yes, don't do that. It's annoying. We can't believe we have to return to this first law of gym, but wipe down the machines after you use them. Yeah, I think everyone agrees on that rule. That's not really modern. That's an old rule, I think. Re-rack your weights. Yeah. You get exactly one chance to ask your gym crush out. Wait until they're done with their workout and proceed with the utmost caution. I think people don't really go to the gym to meet partners. From what I've heard from a lot of stories from women, they say one of the most annoying things is getting hit on while they're working out or while they're at the gym, because they just don't want that. They just want to go there to work out. That's why there's, you know, gyms specifically for women, because they don't want to have to deal with that. They don't want to have to deal with, you know, dudes coming up to them and asking them out, because you got to think about it like this. Like, the women are wearing skin tight clothes because it's easier to exercise in. They're in, you know, awkward positions and stuff like that. They're tired, they're exhausted, they're in a vulnerable position, and there's a bunch of dudes around seeing them doing all these things and then seeing the sweating and stuff like that, and, you know, getting all ideas in their heads and then asking them out and stuff. And yeah, if you've never talked to the person before asking them out, I would say just don't ask them out. We're proud of you for finally wising up to the fact that Pilates is an amazing full body workout, but if you're the only guy in an otherwise all women's Pilates class, chill out with the grunting. Yeah, I guess. I didn't realize this was a problem. Yeah, just making loud, obnoxious noises sucks. The Office. Set firm, common sense boundaries. Don't comment on anyone else's appearance. That should be true outside the office. Don't take personal calls where other people can overhear them. Yeah, that's true. Don't ask out anyone beneath you on the org chart. I would just go a step further and don't ask anyone out that you work with. It's just not a good idea. Like, work life does not work out very well, because you're either going to bring your home life with you to work, or you're going to bring your work life with you home, and it does not work out for anybody. 44, say as little as possible about why you're taking time off. True, because if you say too much, your boss will find ways to work around it. If you want the time off, be vague. It is not their business. If they ask too much, if they want to know too much, tell them, I guess. But say hey, I didn't really want to talk about this because it's depressing, but, you know, my father died or whatever. Like, not everything is everyone's business. Be vague. If they demand extra details, give them the extra details, but only give what's necessary. Don't ask why someone's taking time off. Well, yeah, I guess it's their private business, but I don't see that being necessary as a rule. But also, yeah, maybe don't assume people want to talk about the reason why they took time off, because you never know why they took the time off. It could be the dead father thing that I was talking about, and they probably aren't too keen on talking about that. Always try to find a quiet, secluded place in the office to take a Zoom or phone call. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't disturb other people's work with your personal stuff. Dress up for work, whatever that means to you. Yeah, most businesses have a dress code. Even when I was like working in casual jobs, they still had a dress code. Like when I was working at like Ross's and TJ Maxx, they had a no jeans policy, and it took the entire staff saying something before we were allowed to wear jeans, and then finally everything was better, because the whole point of it is that we were working at a fashion place, well, discount fashion. We should be allowed to wear the things that our customers are wearing, so that they know that they're buying from people that have the similar taste as them. So yeah, you should just wear what the dress code is. It's that simple. Your workplace attire should not be the same as what you wear on the weekends. It should always be more formal. No, not if your workplace is casual like it was for me at TJ Maxx, because if I was following that rule, that would mean that I would have to be in sweats on the weekends, because that would be the only thing less effort than what I was wearing. Restaurants. Carry cash, $100 in greenbacks. Yeah, I can see that. Not every business is going to take credit, and that's because there is a fee when credit cards are used. So some small businesses won't accept credit. So having cash is a good idea. I don't know if I necessarily agree with carrying carrying cash with you though, because that just seems unsafe. Like, I don't want to constantly have money on me, and and then the one situation I do get mugged, like, it's just easier to say like, hey, like, all I've got on me is what the cheap crap you see me wearing and the credit card in my pocket. But it's honestly, as soon as you take that, I'm just gonna call and cancel it. So yeah, I think in the safety terms, maybe not carrying cash is a better idea. But like, I don't know, restaurants that don't accept credit usually have an ATM outside of them that you can use. Once you turn 30, split the dinner or drink checks 2 ways max, or better yet, trade off picking up the whole bill. I am 34 and poor. I will be paying for myself and myself only. Treat your family and friends as often as your budget allows. Yeah, sort of. I kind of have this personal rule that I live by. I don't live a life of excess. If I've got money left over after I paid for everything that I need to, that money I will give to other people, or I will, buy gifts and use them on, give them to other people. I think that's a good way to live personally, but I don't think it's a rule. I think that's more of a personal philosophy sort of thing. The planet's my village, and everyone's a part of it. Stand up to greet people when they arrive. No. No. Don't forget to kiss them on the cheek. Yeah, screw you. No. No to both of those. That's terrible, actually. Unless it's like business. If it's business, stand up and greet them. But if it's not, I think if you know them well enough that you're going to kiss them on the cheek, I think you can just sit down and guide and like point them towards the seat opposite of you. Never insist on ordering for your date. True. You honestly probably have no clue what I want, and I probably honestly have no clue what you want. Like, unless, like, when my wife goes out and she goes to like the grocery store to pick up stuff, and she'll be like, hey, do you want anything? And I'd be like, okay, just give me a treat, you know what I like. And then she always comes back with what I like, and that's not an issue. Then again, this is a person that I have known for a decade, so yeah, it's a little different. But yeah, don't order for your date. Let them pick what they want. When you insist on ordering for your date, to me that says, I'm worried you're going to pick something really expensive, so let me let me choose something instead. But go ahead and offer to order for the whole table. Oh yeah, that's right. Ordering could just mean like the actual process of talking to the waiter. Yeah, don't insist on ordering for your date, but if they want you to, like, respect their anxiety. Same thing for the table. I think that if you're, specifically, if you're in the car and you're in the takeout line, outside and, at the window, I think obviously the person in the driver's seat should order for everybody, because it's just easier that way, because the person on the intercom can hear you better. But in a restaurant, I don't think it's necessary for you to order for the whole table. Offer, but I probably won't take you up on it. I'll probably be like, no, I'm 30. I think I can handle it. Neaten up your plate before your server takes it away. Yeah, that's a pretty good rule. I'd agree with that. Make it easier for them to pick it up, because if you go to like a restaurant, you see that they're going to stack up all the plates and stuff like that, just go ahead and pile it on. Don't be worried that you're getting the underside of the plates dirty, because these restaurants and stuff like that, they have really strong hoses to just blast all that junk off. I've worked in food before too. It's not a big deal to just blast that off the back. So yeah, don't be afraid to stack up the plates for them. 56. If it's before 6, you can't get mad at people having kids at a restaurant. I don't have a problem with kids at the restaurant. I have a problem with kids running around the restaurant without the parents paying attention to them. I did not make you have unprotected sex, so don't make me watch your kid. But if it's after 6, parents are responsible for the experience of everyone else at the restaurant. Placate your wild animals however you can. Before 6, after 6, I don't give a damn. Your kid's running around the restaurant just going crazy, that's on you. And that reflects you too. When people see your kid running around acting crazy and you're not doing anything to manage your kid, people are judging you hard in their head and will talk about you long after they leave the restaurant. They'll be like, wow, that was a really nice meal. Shame about the person who couldn't watch their damn kid. I'm not like, your kid's a free person. If they really want to do something, they can't be controlled. But if you have a kid that you cannot control, maybe find a different solution for dinner. Maybe McDonald's. You bring your dog, you eat at the outdoor tables, obviously. I feel like that's not really something that can be debated unless, the person is, needs an assistive dog. What's the word? Like a seeing eye dog, stuff like that. Canines that, help people with their disabilities. Obviously, they're an exception and they should be allowed to bring their dog inside. Actually, legally, I think they have to be allowed inside. In a restaurant, your back should never be to the door. If your back's to the door, how are you protecting anyone? Anyone being me, stay safe, stay aware, please be present. Safety is sexy. Oh my god, she really just wants a dude to stand in front of her all times to catch a bullet for her. Oh, this lady's crazy. She just wants a permanent human shield in front of her. She doesn't want a partner. She doesn't want to hang out with anybody. She wants someone to catch a stray for her. The bar seat is your secret weapon. One night a week, pick a restaurant and take yourself out to a solo dinner at the bar. You get to avoid resi hell. The bar seat is your secret weapon. That doesn't seem like a rule. That just seems like a suggestion. Oh, here we go. Internet etiquette. Never say, I've already seen this when someone sends you a funny post. Yeah, it is a bummer. You are killing the mood when you do that. I don't know what you're supposed to say in response to it, but say instead, you can say you've already seen it. Say like, oh yeah, I saw that earlier. It's hilarious. That's not a bummer. That's elevating though. That's still saying your piece, but also elevating it. It's, yeah, and it's awesome. Sorry, but there's no reason to ever have your phone out at the movie theater. True. Unless it's during the previews. Thought we all agreed on this 20 years ago. Yeah, you shouldn't be bringing your phone to you can bring your phone to the movie theater, obviously, but the moment you're in your seat and the previews start, you should be silencing your phone. Ideally, well, no, don't turn it off, but silencing your phone. And if you do have to check it, turn the brightness down to the bare minimum. It's a pitch black room. You'll be able to see it just fine. Pick up the phone when your friends call and be the caller sometimes too. I think if your friend calls you, of course, pick up the phone, but I don't think you need to go out of your way and call a bunch of people. If texting works for you, stick to texting. Talking on the phone is a lost art. Now, talking on the phone is roping me into a very long conversation when I've got shit I gotta do too, and then I have to worry about being polite and knowing when is the right time to disconnect from the call. And you're not gonna ever catch me being myself on the phone, because I'm gonna be full phone etiquette mode. Yeah, you're not gonna get the real me on a phone call. Use text reaction wisely. Yes, if you give just a one-word response or an emoji response, you're killing the conversation. Full stop right there. So yeah, I agree with that one. A conversation is an equal exchange of words. You gotta give as much as you're getting. So if you want the conversation to continue and you want them to talk to you again in the future, then you need to provide full response back to them. If you don't know what to respond with, change the subject. When out in the company of others, keep your phone tucked away and out of sight. It depends on the crowd. I see a lot of people that pull their phones out and stuff like that, and I'll pull out like my Game Boy and start playing it, and they'll give me crap for playing on my Game Boy. How is that any different from them doom scrolling on their phone in front of me? I think it's perfectly acceptable for me to play my Game Boy that doesn't cause me any, mental harm. Not like doom scrolling. That's like giving me shit for eating a rice cake while you're eating an entire cake in front of me. Like, can you not eat that rice cake? It's a little loud. Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear it over you slurping down that cake. I don't know. It's just, I think you can have your phone out in public. I don't think there's an issue with it. It's just not on a date or in gathering settings. If you're all gathered there together to hang out together, I think that's when you need to keep your phone in your pocket. Assume any email will be forwarded, any DM, screenshot, compose accordingly. True. We live in a surveillance state and we're surveilling each other. Do not assume that anything is said privately in a vacuum. That group chat, that will be leaked one day, if it hasn't been already. Control your thumbs. There's little to be gained and much from loss from arguing online or double tapping someone's Instagram thirst traps. My thought is that I act online how I would act in real life. I would not say anything online that I wouldn't say in real life. 68. No man who doesn't post for work should have a public Instagram. That's... what? No man should have a public Instagram, essentially, unless they're using it for work. That's why. Fellas, is it gay to post on Instagram? Is that like some rule that I don't know about? That's stupid. It's social media. It's the most used social media site. So why wouldn't you use an Instagram? I don't personally use Instagram, but I don't see an issue with a guy having an Instagram. That's stupid. Like, what are you worried about? Are you worried that he's liking other women's images? If that's the case, you have issues. 69. You would be a better dad, partner, and friend if your screen time were cut in half. True. I am a super big advocate for cutting back on your phone as much as possible. My total phone usage in a day is less than an hour, and I have my phone to monitor that. Yeah, so I use my phone less than an hour a day. Pretty crazy. I know some people that would die if that was the situation. Parties and events. Curate a table. Don't put people beside people they're always with. If you're going to have a fun party, mix it up and don't make it awkward. I don't know the rules for... I don't think anyone's like throwing parties this specific unless they're like, baby showers and stuff like that, or bachelorette parties and stuff like that. I don't think anyone's making formal parties like this anymore. Never charge your friends for a dinner party. No matter how confident you feel about your culinary skills, your home is not a restaurant. If you can't shell out for groceries necessary to feed the group, pivot to a potluck. Oh, okay, I see. So if you have your friends over for a party, don't expect them to pay. That's fair. That's true. A party is also a gift, in my opinion. But if you're a dinner party guest, you must bring something. No. See, I got invited. They asked me to come. I didn't offer to go. I didn't try to inject myself. I mean, I will bring something because it's, polite, and I would do that because it's just a cool thing to do, but I don't think you have have to bring something. It's something that I personally would do. I don't think it's something you have to do, though. Understand who your guests are. Some people have dietary restrictions. Some people drink, some people don't drink. Good rule. I agree with this one. I think if you're going to throw a party, you should be aware of who's coming to the party. If you got a vegan friend who's coming, have vegan options. And please, more than just a fucking salad. That was the most annoying thing about being a vegan. I was a vegan for a short time. I just couldn't afford to keep doing it. It's too expensive to eat healthy. Can't really do that when you're on Snap. Can't even eat unhealthy when you're on Snap right now. So when I was a vegan, like anytime I was invited to go somewhere, they would say that they had vegan options. And if they said it at all. And when I go there, they go like, oh, I wasn't actually expecting anyone to take me up on the vegan offer. So they just offer me a salad and some dressing. And the dressing was always something that wasn't vegan. I got into the habit of buying some Taco Bell before going and getting them to replace the beef with refried beans. Taco Bell is your best friend when you're a vegan because you can always guarantee that you can get yourself some quick vegan food. Always have a chic, non-alcoholic beverage option to toast with. I don't know. I don't see... This is rich people shit. A lot of these is rich people shit. And it should go without saying, but never ask why someone's not drinking. That's true. It's their business. No stranger owes you their opinion. Serious issues in politics can always come up, but don't corner someone you've just met to shake them down for their takes. The bar's not a debate club. Yeah, if you barely know the person, don't ask them. But like, I would prefer to know my friends' politics and opinions and stuff like that. Small talk is both an art and a courtesy of the person next to you at a social occasion. Think of who's going to be at the party and do a bit of prep work. Practice talking to strangers at coffee shops, the dry cleaners, wherever. Yeah, hassle total strangers who don't want to talk to anybody so that you can get better at small talk for a party. Oh, that's terrible. No. If you're too tired and busy to talk about anything besides how tired and busy you are, stay home. Your pals will thank you. But yeah, it can be a bit of a bummer, but also it's kind of mean to say something like that. If you're suffering, if you're struggling, just stay the fuck home. It's so rude. It's so mean. Like, your pals want you to be okay. And I think that's what's important, is that your pals would want you to be okay. And sure, like, you can be a bummer by complaining about how tired you are all the time and dragging things down. But also, I think that the other person is dragging things down by not being supportive. A friend is supportive. A friend would want to know if you're struggling. You don't always have to put on the happy face. If you must cancel at last minute, radical honesty is the best policy. That's true. I'd rather hear that than an excuse, I guess. If you've invited more than 10 guests, let people leave their shoes on at a house party. It's hard to flirt in socks. I don't know. My house, my rules, honestly. But yeah, I don't actually have an issue with people wearing their shoes in the house as long as, like, well, we have hardwood everything, so I'd probably be fine with it. Try to attend every wedding you're invited to. Yeah, weddings are a big deal. If you're invited to one, you take it seriously. They didn't make that decision lightly. Like, 5 people were rejected just so that you get in. But you never have to attend another bachelor party again. Those are pretty optional, and those parties can get out of hand from what I've heard. I've never been to a bachelor party, but if, TV and media is anything to go by, those parties get crazy, and, you don't have to party like you're Aerosmith every day. So if you don't know whether you've met someone or not before, nice to see you will cover all possibilities. I think, yes, it's polite to do, and, like, it would probably be socially devastating to a person for them to hear that they are very unrememberable, but I don't know. If someone didn't remember me, I would just, like, appreciate if they just said so. When you introduce people, give them a bit of a starting point for conversation. What's something they have in common between them? Find the connection. Yeah, that's good. If you want these two people to talk, you should probably lead them off with something that they have in common. It just makes the conversation easier for them. It's like when someone messages you just hi and says nothing else, those conversations always end badly because that person didn't open with a topic. I don't respond to messages that are just hi or hello without a topic. Always introduce people. No. Just because I go to a party doesn't mean I want to talk to a bunch of people. I go to a party because there's free food. If you're part of a group conversation and somebody joins you, graciously introduce them and say, we were just chatting about this. I mean, personally, I'm someone who butts into conversations a lot by accident. It's the ADHD. So this would make me feel better, but I don't think I should be particularly specifically accommodated for. In general, talk less. Talk less, but also practice your small talk on strangers. A gentleman would rather ask questions than talk about himself. True. And if you're in a conversation setting, you should ask about other people. Unless they ask about you, then of course, share, but try not to overshare. In social situations, dinner, drinks, meeting your friends, your partner partner's friends for the first time, whatever. Don't be boring. Yeah, because your partner introduced you to their friends as a show of trust and a show of moving on to the next stage in your relationship. So I think they were like, I'm so proud of you being my partner that I'm ready to share you with my friends. That's a really big deal for them. So when you suck, it reflects poorly on them in a way, but you don't have to try super hard. Just don't be boring. Throw one party a year. It's your civic duty. If you don't like parties or don't have space, you should find another small-scale social initiative. Be the one who organizes buying baseball tickets. Again, this is rules for rich people who have money to throw around on random shit, but yeah, I think socially it would be beneficial for you to have a gathering a year, at least. If you go to someone's house for dinner and you bring anything, it stays in their house. I don't care if the wine went unopened or the dessert sat untouched. True. I think this was the subject of an episode of Seinfeld. Yeah, if you bought it for the dinner party, leave it at the house when you're done. Just because they didn't have it now doesn't mean they're not going to have it in private. Just because they didn't drink the wine that you brought while you were all there doesn't mean that they're not going to drink it later. Maybe they just don't like drinking in front of people. Don't set up a content stream in the middle of a party that disrupts everybody else. Yes, that's hand in hand with the don't blast shit on your phone. Offer to help do the dishes, whether or not you cook. I would say yes. In a dating situation, yeah, probably. Or a dinner party situation, yeah, maybe. But I think it's just a polite thing to do, and you can have a conversation while you do it. But if you're in a home setting where you've already got your dish situation figured out, I don't think there's really a need to do this. A targeted exit is always a good way out of the party. Say bye to your host and any really good friends, but it's not necessary to say goodbye to everybody because you're interrupting conversations and slowing things down. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty basic. I don't think anyone's trying to say goodbye to everybody. I've never been in a situation at a party where someone was trying to say goodbye to every single person. They'd butt in and they'd be like, hey, I'm gonna dip out. Or hey, met this chick, met this guy. We're gonna go, somewhere just ourselves. That kind of thing. And they just tell me and they're like, hey, can you tell the others I left? Yeah. But really always say goodbye to the host. Yeah, they invited you. It's polite. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Ooh, public travel. Offer up your seat on public transportation. Yeah, that's pretty basic stuff. Open the passenger door for your date. You should just open the door for other people. They've established that in a previous one, so that's a duplicate rule. 124 rules more like it. Try to be the person who calls and pays for the Uber. It's a polite thing, yeah, but I mean, don't get to the point that you're fighting over it. Maybe split the oobs. 99, if you're riding shotgun, be an entertaining and engaged companion and navigator. Don't just silently sit there scrolling your phone. I think the passenger is a dying art because we don't really do long travel anymore via cars. Well, people do road trips and stuff like that, but I think we don't spend as much time in cars as much used to, I don't think, or at least I don't. So I think the art of the passenger has kind of been lost. There is an art to it. Like, it's very boring to be the person driving. So having some sort of conversation at all. And I think I'm pretty good at talking while in the passenger seat. If you don't know what to do at all, play 20 questions. You'd be surprised how many people have never played 20 questions before. Yes, you can take your shoes off on a red eye, but only if you're wearing socks. I don't know what a red eye is. Flight delays will happen. Yeah, shit happens. Deal with it. Nobody back home wants to hear about your delay nightmare. Well, I mean, if it's your mom probably wants to know. But yeah, I'd say for the most part, people don't really want to hear you complain about your constant delays. Do not bring your own hot food onto a plane. No one wants to smell your bacon, egg, cheese at 6 a.m. Maybe they do. I mean, that's something I'd want to smell when I first wake up. I feel like you probably shouldn't bring your own food onto the plane. If you're gonna bring your own food, make it cold food. I kind of agree with this. Like, I'm sure there's been a situation where someone brought fish onto a plane and then it was just horrible. Help the person next to you struggling to get their carry-on into the overhead bin. Yeah, that's some common courtesy, like opening the door for someone. The small talk window with your seatmate is before you're in the air and after you land. Anything above 10,000 feet is off limits. That's fair. I think once you're in the air, that's the point that you're doing the activity that you would plan to do on the plane, unless the person is really good at conversation. I've been in a situation like that where the person I was sitting next to on the plane was just really good to talk to. Old people in particular, they love having someone younger to chat with. They just like having a young person to talk to, and they've got some really good stories. So I have no issue talking once I'm up in the air, but also I understand that people have things that they want to do. Some people use that time to get work done. Don't try to flirt with the flight attendants. True, they're just like waitresses. They're just paid to be nice to you. Your closet, okay? If someone compliments your outfit, say thank you. Don't start naming the credits. Okay, this is definitely a rich person problem. You say, oh, you have such a nice fit, and you're like, oh, thank you. This is Louis Vuitton's summer collection from just this past week. I don't know. I can see how that'd be annoying. I don't want you naming brands and stuff like that. Just say, hey, thank you. If someone asks you where you got the outfit from, then say it. It's always better to be overdressed. No. Well, actually, underdressed, yeah, I can see underdressed being an issue. There are some situations where underdressed is bad, but I don't think overdressed is better either. I don't think you should always just go everywhere in a tux. That seems silly. But I think if it's a party or something like that, or you were invited, maybe, unless it's a super casual thing, maybe don't wear like a t-shirt or something like that. Try a button up, wear a belt. If you're constantly trying to hike up your pants, maybe it's belt time, but you know, in like a party situation. Never put optional on your dress code. True, if you put optional, people will just ignore it. At that point, don't have a dress code. A gentleman always follows the dress code. Yeah, that's just general politeness. You and your date should look like you're dressing for the same occasion. True. I mean, if one of you dresses nice, you both should dress nice. You don't want one showing up the other. Nobody likes that. No need to overdo it. Fragrances and scents and whatnot. Just smell clean and look like you gave a little thought. True. Again, back to the too much perfume thing. I don't want to smell your perfume. I didn't sign up to smell your perfume. Nobody cares about the deep meaning behind your tattoos. Bullshit. You got tattoos that are cool and I ask you about them. I want you to tell me the whole fucking story about them. It's entirely different than the clothes thing. If I ask you about your tattoos, you better provide me with a whole essay. I want an essay on each tattoo that I ask about, because I know when you get a tattoo, there's a story behind it. So if I screw that rule, that's a dumb rule. These people suck. I want to know everything about your tattoo. Do not carry all of your earthly possessions in your pockets. Yeah, just don't overclutter things. You phone, wallet, and then I don't know, maybe one other thing. If you need to carry that much, just get a bag. Embrace bag life. I've embraced bag life and it's wonderful. I have everything I need and it doesn't look like I'm carrying too much still. Get regular pedicures, no polish needed. If you let them turn into claws, they can never be toenails again. That's weird. But I guess that falls into taking care of yourself. But no, pedicures are expensive. Just clip them at home. If you cohabitate, pick up your socks off the floor. Yeah. Be proactive about house chores. Yes. Please. Nothing scares you away from having a roommate in the future like having a bad roommate. One bad roommate can ruin all of your social experiences for the rest of your life. Wash your towels way more often than you already do. Good rule of thumb is at least once a week. I don't see an issue with that. Invest in mood lighting. Nothing kills the vibe like a big overhead light. Actually, I don't have a choice in that because in my apartment building, for some reason, they did not do any ceiling hookups for lights, and it's terrible. It is such a pain to film anything in like physical space when I have to have like 4 lamps on to get good lighting. If you watch movies or TV shows ahead of your partner, you should be ready to rewatch if they ask you to. Yes, 100%. You should offer to rewatch with them. We do this too. You know, I have 3 partners: Smith, Blythe, Connie. Connie wanted to watch The Walking Dead, and she was watching it from the beginning. And Blythe had already seen it, and she offered to watch it through with Connie. And I was busy, but when they were starting to get closer, like 2-3 seasons behind me, I started sitting out there and watching it with them too. And yeah, that's just a thing you should do. It's quality time. You should be ready to jump in and do quality time with your partner. I think you should at least offer. You should offer, not wait for them to ask you. Offer. If they're like, oh, I've been interested in blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, I'm like almost done with it. They're like, you should go, oh, I'm almost done with it. Do you want me to watch it with you? Yeah, take that opportunity. Like, that's extra time for both of you, and it makes you look extra thoughtful, which is always awesome. Take your shoes off at home. Yep, basic stuff. And absolutely no outside clothes on the bed. Oh, there are outside clothes and inside clothes. Get into the habit of changing into clean, comfortable loungewear when you return home, and no outside clothes on the bed. Yeah, well, that's just basic cleanliness. Don't get into the bed with dirty feet. That's the same rule as don't eat cookies in bed, because any crumbs or any dirt you have on your feet will end up in that bed, and you will be tossing and turning in the middle of your sleep because you feel a single grain of sand under your back. In the summer, take 2 showers a day. Some of y'all reek. And I want to agree with this rule, but also I think wasting water is bad. I don't know. Learn how to cook one thing well, serve it with gusto. There, you're the epitome of a modern gentleman. I think everyone should learn how to cook, and I think you should have one thing that you're really good at. I have a few things that I'm really good at, and I'm really good at beef stew, brisket, potato soup, tonkatsu. Love making tonkatsu. It's one of the things we eat the most, and it's super cheap. And that's kind of it. No, I'm sure I have some other stuff that I'm good at, but I just can't remember. Pizza. I can make pizza. I'm pretty good at making pizza. But yeah, that's the rules. That's the rules that they had. A lot of them are like what I thought, condescending, which is not a good way to get people onto your side, out of date, or just really old rules that have always been a rule, targeted specifically at people with money and stuff like that. I think the majority of the people that this is targeting, it just can't work for. And I think these people have had money for so long that they just don't know what it's like to not have money. So they have a hard time of, like, to them, a gentleman is synonymous with having money, and they suck for that. Alright, thanks for watching. For my rules for modern gentlemen, women, and gentledames, just keep in mind that you should be a listener, show that you're listening, and do nice things for people because you'd want them to do it for you. That's it. Just 3 rules. Be nice to each other. So 1 rule. Remember to tip your alien. I take likes, subs, and lists of rules that get progressively more oddly specific as you go. Of course, a special thanks to patrons and YouTube members like Aspirant Artist, Paper, Faye Penguin, Momentary Unicorn, Aurora the Puppy Moth, Sly, Nat, Marius Yini, Worm Syrup, Rask, Beeve, Colorado Blue, Vaderson, Linky, Willie P, TG Dante, who also made this background, Linky again, and Malding Brick. I'll see y'all later. I have to go polish my cufflinks now. Bye.